Hey there, and welcome back to what?
Hey there. Have you ever started?
Hey, Michael from Vsauce.
I have never done that before. Wow,
What was that?
what a time to be living in.
Oh my god. It's the delirium of isolation.
It is, no, it's me waiting for Centrelink to give me a call. That's what's happening. Jesus Christ! Welcome back to the Great Mates podcast for season 4. I am Josh, and I have got with me Anastasia.
Hello.
Nick.
Hello.
And Ben.
Howdy, howdy.
It's the Cards Against Humanity group, basically.
Basically.
We had a very interesting time playing Cards Against Humanity. Which dropped on the 1st. That was a very interesting.
It happened.
It happened, and then we continued playing afterwards. And wow, we are very dark people.
We knew that.
we always knew that.
that.
I guess it's out there in the world now just how dark we are.
No, everybody knows that.
Oh lordy.
Oh, wow, we're too dark.
But anyway, this is the social distancing version. Oh well, I mean we've always been social distancing. So
Classic.
you know we were way ahead of
Isolation crew, what up? Sorry.
since day 0, essentially. But yeah, it is a very interesting time, and I have a feeling like this is going to be a common theme this season is social distancing and all the fun stuff that comes with COVID-19, I think.
Honestly, how long do you reckon we're going to be in isolation for?
6 months.
I only think
3 to
New
6
South
Minimum-
months.
Wales is in lockdown for the next 90 days.
6 months.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah. It makes sense that it's going to be a 6-month minimum in terms of all these sort of conditions that we're placed in.
International travel will be fucked for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yikes. That sucks.
Which is a big move for a lot of people, and oh dear.
I actually had a friend of mine leave recently back to Sweden. So she was an international student, but like she finished her studies, thankfully, and yeah, her visa just wasn't able to like get renewed. So
Rip.
well, not renewed, but changed into I think it was like a workers thing. I don't know. It's
Like the
Yeah.
graduate visa.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I just know that like once you finish your degree, you can like stay for another year basically on the premise that you're going to gain work, and then if you get work, then you can like keep extending your visa until obviously you have to apply for a work visa.
yeah, except we have
something like that.
Scummo as a prime minister, so...
Yeah, and he just delivered the biggest fuck you to a lot of international students. So
Yeah.
that's fun. Oh dear. But anyway, I guess it's been a wild 6 months.
Yeah, more or less.
Ever since we wrapped up season 3, bushfires.
Or even before that. Oh, kind of, but yeah, the smoke that we had that drifted all the way over to New Zealand.
Oh yeah, and then floods.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then-
some minor floods.
And then this. It's been a wild 6 months since we've been off air, which does make me a little bit concerned that if we truly are the savior of the world, we are all hideously unprepared for this.
We are.
Nah, we can do it.
You think so?
We can, yeah. Just
Correct.
hopefully, we'll get paid. They'll be like, seeing you're the saviors, we need to do this 24/7.
Paid.
We will pay you, and it'll
Pay-
just be
paid
us
in-
doing this 24 hours a day.
Do you know what this is? This is like in true dedication to the arts. This is payment in exposure.
Oh no.
Exposure to COVID-19.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, that was bad. I am bleeding. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm playing a video game.
Yes.
Ignore me.
For context, Ben is playing a video game. He's not actually bleeding out.
Do we need to get you help?
Do we need to call 000 now?
Or later.
That's okay.
Or later.
Later, probably. Can it wait till after we finish?
But yeah, anyway, I think we should probably just check in with everyone, just see how you guys have been faring these past 6 months. Like, good and bad, because we have to be, we have to be realistic and, acknowledge that this has impacted all of us. Like, everything that's happened, especially with COVID-19, has impacted all of us in one way or another. So
yeah. Oh fuck! I'm gonna die. This is fun. Oh god.
Again, video game.
Video game. What a mood.
What a big ass mood. Who wants to go first?
Sorry. What are we talking about?
At least fucking pay attention.
Classic.
Oh my god.
Classic.
You can't do two things at once.
Cool. I died. That's fun.
Fun times. So I guess Ben, you can probably start.
Describe
first.
your death to us.
Well, I'm playing a game called Outward, which is probably going to be our rec for today. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's this it's a fantasy RPG. But unlike most fantasy RPGs, it's not a power fantasy. You play as just a regular old douchebag.
Okay.
And I say douchebag. You're just like an ordinary person, and the game is super brutal. I just died because I ran over a trap, which is a spike trap. Yeah, it's a spike trap, and I died and I bled to death. So, yeah, that happened. I'll explain more about the game later, but yes, that's what I'm doing. If you're wondering if I start screaming, it's because I'm probably dying in the game. Just let you know.
Yes, but in terms of how have you been the past 6 months?
Better.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've already mentioned this, but there's a lot of shit that happened.
Yeah.
Mainly with me fucking up my enrollment and not being able to study this year. But I guess that kind of worked out in my favor with this whole COVID thing. Yeah, I don't know. I've been looking at other avenues for work and gaining money. Because yeah, because I usually work in a bar, but obviously that's not happening anytime soon. So yeah. That's what my last 6 months have been like.
Oof.
I don't know what else to say. It's been tough. That's all I can really say. It's been hard. I've been getting really frustrated with the way, mainly with just dumb people who there are people that I see on my Facebook from time to time, which really sucks and I should really unfriend them, but I just can't be bothered. I'm too lazy. Basically, I've been seeing a lot of people trying to protect ScoMo in oh, he's not that bad kind of way, even though he is. And it's been kind of frustrating to deal with that because it's just how can you still defend this man after the major fuck up that was the fires? Especially after the fires.
No, I think that you can't defend him for his actions during that, but I think it's still admirable to say where he's done right. And during this time, there is some stuff he's done right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna my point being is yes, he's doing stuff right now, but overall his performance has been fairly poor. He's still in my opinion, a bigot. He during the international students thing, he basically told international students to go get fucked, which is the biggest fuck you to people.
He's done that, but then also,
and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure education is one of our major exports as well. People come here to study,
I mean, mining, but sure.
No, as in like, okay, yes, true, but I'm also like I'm pretty sure that within our like sphere of influence, mainly being Asia and stuff, Australia is a point of a point of call when it comes to education and like mainly tertiary education. Like, there's so many international students that come here from India, Nepal, China, like all these smaller like third world Asian countries. Like, it's not. I don't know. I feel like he's doing things that are like kind of just compounding the fact that he's a bigot. Like, I don't know what else to say. And it really gets on my nerves when people try and defend him and then continue to like I guess justify the fact that they voted for him. Which, I mean, like, look, if you voted for him, you voted for him. I can't really like do anything about that. But my point is that like he has shown himself to be fairly incompetent. Again, he has done some stuff that's good, and I'm not going to discredit that. Like, he is doing stuff that is decent, but my problem My problem comes when he's like, people are like continually trying to not like they continue to be ignorant and stubborn about their vote, and we could have like not prevent. That's a hard thing to do, but we could have like a lot of this stuff could have been dealt with better by a different government, in my opinion. That's just how I feel, and I've been frustrated about that for a while now. So,
yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
Fair enough. No, that's fair. And like education in terms of its, there's a bigger impact on the economy post graduation. I think a lot of people forget that many of those students, if they stay in Australia, will tend to be working and contributing to the economy. So it's those like graduates who are the ones that are also like, contributing, paying taxes and all that sort of stuff.
But then you also have your postgraduate students who are doing medical research or
who are in the HDR.
Or GPs or all that type of stuff, and yes, they are working more or less, so they are contributing. But when you're saying overall, like, international students, I'm sorry, but we're focusing on Australians only at the moment. Like, that's, especially for a multicultural nation, that's a big punch in the face.
Yeah.
And then there's also the mixed message between this JobKeeper payment that includes special category New Zealand citizens, but then you also say, like, we're not going to care about New Zealanders at the moment. Like,
it's a very interesting. I guess this is my biggest critique of the current, government, is that the way that they communicate things, and it's been very evident, like in these daily presses that are happening now, is there's no one way that the information is being communicated, and it's not being communicated well. That's my biggest critique, is that, you're not ScoMo, and I take a big sort of critique towards the chief medical officer as well, is that it's not the same message. It's not the same message, and it's not being said the same way. So there are multiple interpretations of what's going on, and it makes it really difficult for people like us, people who are voting, to make decisions and to actually understand what the impacts are, especially like with the whole JobKeepers, those subsidies or payments or whatever. It was just a shit load of information to sort of sort through and actually understand, like, oh, am I actually going to get paid or am I not? So all in all, like, at the moment, sure, there are, the government is doing things to manage and stabilize the economy as much as it can, but communication-wise, it's been a shit show. At a federal level.
Yeah.
I also understand that this is a difficult time, but one of my biggest complaints is that messages seem to be changing daily. And I get that this is a situation where stuff is changing daily, but it just gives the impression that they're out of their depth. But like way out of their depth. When you've got like chief medical officers who are supposed to be, you know, the best, hypothetically, medical brain in the country, and they're doing complete 180s each day, like you lose faith.
And this is how you disenfranchise a big segment of your voting population. Yeah. And, like, I guess I'll sort of chime in with this, is that I can't remember the exact figure that was given for mental health. Was it something like 70 million?
About the telehealth thing? It was, I believe it was because I remember writing it in chat, so I'll have to find it, but I believe it was something like 1.3 billion, or, I mean, it was only this weekend, so I should be able to find it quickly. But, my whole thing was that it was less money than they'd given to the whole regional aviation.
Oh, the guarantee for regional, yeah.
Yeah, where I was like, okay, so health is less important than regional. Is less important than regional aviation.
Air transport,
Which, aviation is important because you need to, like, people still need to be doing FIFO work and all that.
Yeah. But
also, like, health is pretty fucking important right now, guys. So...
I found it on the conversation. It's like 70... So the government is spending an initial $74 million to help with the mental health impact. $74 million is not a lot of money to go throwing around in terms of mental health. And, like, you know, like, even I'm sure, like, even us, like, as great mates, we know how important mental health is. And, you know, 74 million is not going to be a lot in terms of helping to manage all of the downstream impacts of what is happening right now and what will continue to happen for, you know, the next. I'm saying this is going to cause a lot of long-term mental trauma, especially in the young people. So this is going to be a long-term thing that we're looking at, particularly from a research perspective. I'm very curious to see what sort of research we're going to do in mental health when it comes to, you know, assessing impacts of this. So it's a start, but I'm telling you right now, if we're not funding more, this is going to be
big.
Like,
I don't tend to talk politics because I am very ignorant about the fact, and I don't know enough to be like, scummo's a scummo. But the fact that I'm getting emails from, like, my university from the counsellor that is normally scheduled there on a Friday for 4 hours.
Yeah.
We get an email from him that's like, here's some breathing exercises. And that's the mental health outlook.
From what I've heard, like, that's fucking huge for NIDA, but also kinda...
It's like nice, but also it's not, like...
It's not enough.
It's not enough. We should be getting... We should at least be looking towards getting benefits. Like, especially for creative types, we are stuck at home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for the safety of everybody, but mentally it's very draining.
Yeah. I'll just quickly correct myself before. Regional aviation did not get more than health. My whole thing was that health only had 4 times as much money as regional aviation. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
health is only that much more
Only
important.
four times more.
Four times more important than, but yeah. But, and yeah, like you said, for creatives, it's disastrous. But also, like, for me, like, when I kind of figured out that I'm not going to be in a classroom, both working at a school and at TAFE, until Sem 2 is the talk at the moment. Like, I'm going to go, like, I left online education for a reason. And I do have an issue where I'm being forced into it. Yes, there's not much fucking else they can do, but it does feel like there is a general lack of communication and a lack of support for both students and teachers for online education.
There's a lack of everything. There's a lack of support everywhere. There's a lack of support for medical workers. There's a lack of support for teaching staff. And there's a lack of support for everybody across the board. And
I get that everyone, you know, is the duck whose feet is going crazy underwater. I get that. But, like, you have time to build support networks after the fact. And I just don't feel like that's happening. When I have to be the technical support officer for my class.
Oh my god.
And when I have to reiterate every point every half an hour, like...
It points to something that is systemic, yeah. I get that, because...
And this is both for teachers and for peers. But... Just...
Yeah.
I mean, when one person's problem is that they didn't even give the right email address, or I'm like, just correct that, please.
Oh my god. But yeah.
But that's a me problem. I take on way too much, just in general.
Yeah.
And that's something where I'm just kind of... But also I just want to help people, because, like, it fucking sucks, and if I can help, I'll try to help, but...
Yeah. And like, this is something, I guess, that has come through in sort of the last 3 weeks, I guess, in my case, because, so what's happened is, I'm in my final year, so it's all, for me, it's just literally going to clinic and meeting clients and whatnot. But, ever since we sort of started, implementing the restrictions, at this point, right now, we aren't allowed to see external clients, so members of the public. Mainly because I have no idea what's going on in terms of the higher-ups here at the university. But, you know, we have students who are from USC, University of Sunny Coast, who are Masters of Counselling students who are now going to be providing free counselling sessions to the members of the public. And while I understand that, they're obviously going to be, I think, if I recall correctly, they will be on campus with supervision on hand. So that's obviously to cover themselves. But if a university from Sunny Coast can implement that, I'm just curious to know what the reasons are for my particular university not being able to provide that service. Because even there's a sense of frustration, I guess, not just from me, but also from other members of my sort of clinic here who really want to help. But we are obviously constrained by the organization, which sucks because we know that shit's going down and we'd love to help, but we can't. And that's sort of the thing that we have to accept right now, is that we just have to sit with that and see what happens in terms of the next sort of 6 to 9 months. Because I think we are only going to be seeing professionals in a supervision setting for until June, and then we don't know what's going to happen, obviously, from July onwards until the end of the year. So it's a very interesting time to be someone who's studying in mental health and really wanting to
Well, it's
try and assist people as well.
It's certainly not a mental health only thing because, like, nursing students all around the world and medical students are being graduated early because
they're being pushed through the system.
or they're being given all their placement in one block 5 days a week instead of being on and off or whatever. And with ScoMo doing, and I think that this is a stupid idea, but these free childcare for essential workers.
Yeah.
All the early childhood people, because early childhood do their placement different to how I do my placement. We do our placement, we find our own schools, we go there, we sort it out ourselves. For early childhood, they do it all for like 4 weeks, and that's all they do, rather than being on and off. So with this now, they're what I heard from TAFE today is that they're being told, get all your students into placement right now because we need as many early childhood workers as we can. But then for me, I go to school on a Monday. I go to the school I'm working at on a Monday. By the Wednesday, I'm told you can't go anymore. But I would still like, why are early childhood staff essential? And then why are teachers being seen as essential? Even though a lot of teachers are working 1 week on, 1 week off with combined classrooms. But like support, like my role is called School Learning Support Officer. So why in a time where you need as much support as possible are we being told? And I know why, it's because of health and that. But then why not be told it's not, like, if you can't do it right now, that's okay. But there is no one really around me that I could possibly infect if I came down with COVID. Yeah, it would suck, but also I am 25 and as healthy as I can possibly be. Like I think
it's probably more a thing about they're just covering their ass.
I know they're covering their ass, but it would be... Like, because we were told,
But like, also you're doing a primary school placement.
Yes.
And I think,
and I know there's also the opposite issue, because there are some people who move between class. Yeah, if I know that like there's some people in my TAFE class who move between classrooms, whether it be a primary or a secondary environment, or there are some people who are doing their placement in schools where there are students who are at risk of that. And I know, like, there was a kid in the class I was working with whose mother had cancer, and that is, like, that's a group that could easily get hit. I know from what Mum tells me, after Mum still is quite, not super involved, but she still has hands in the gynecological cancer pot, just being kind of a support network for people as well. And there's a lot of people who are saying, like, is my chemo going to get cancelled because it's seen as a non-essential hospital service? But for some people, this chemo is what is keeping them ticking along for the next couple of months. So it's really... Again, there's not a lot of... I know people are busy in that, but there's not a lot of news coming out or a lot of info where there needs to be. I mean, even just the when New South Wales and Victoria went into lockdown, but went into diminished services, everyone went to Dan Murphy's and spent... Like, one of my teachers, her husband works is the manager at Two Bottle-O's. Usually on a Sunday, they do about $4,000 sales, she was saying. In the last 2 hours of trade alone, they did 14,000. And then only for then people to turn around and go, oh no, Bottle-O's are seen as essential. Like, that's a severe lack of communication. Or where in supermarkets, and I completely agree with Mum with this, and people say, you know, this isn't quite true. But, like, last weekend, Mum goes to the supermarket, she wants to get two tins of corn and a can of tomatoes. But she gets to the register and no, she can't. She can only get 2 tins of vegetables in general. And Mum saw that and she was like, so they're making me buy their expensive fresh vegetables, which I kind of agree with. But, like, who cares if they have an extra... Like, the rules aren't being laid out in a understandable manner.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just a confusing time.
It is. It is. For everyone involved, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. I guess any good stuff that's happened in the last 6 months, Anastasia?
Yeah, so what happened? I worked for a bit in December and January.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I worked almost every day, which was nice to have some steady income for a little bit. Then I drifted off in February and I got a couple of freelance things, but it had dropped off so significantly. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go to Adelaide for a little bit for the festival. Went and saw some shows, caught up with some university friends that were also working down there, and Olivia and Brandon.
Hey.
Then I moved house.
Oof.
And then I started a placement with a children's theatre company, which was great for the 2 weeks that we were allowed to continue doing what we were doing. And then it was like, well, like 2 of our 3 cast members are from Melbourne and they're about to close the border. So
Yeah.
we can't do that anymore. But I got a call from the operations manager this morning, and she's so cool, but she was like, yeah, I just wanted to check in with you. Just wanted to let you know that your spot will exist when the show starts back up again. Yeah, you were so good to have in the room. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for validation.
That's really good of them, though. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're like the nicest fucking bunch of people.
Oh, God bless. Also, can we talk about how many more cats you have?
I only have 3.
Only 3.
What do you mean more? I've always had lots. This is actually less.
Is it?
Well, we had to leave some behind when we moved.
Oh.
Aww.
So you had to choose.
Well, no, Brian was doing wasn't coming back as often. She would come back like once every 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones were there every day.
I see.
So I've got Nikki, Sandy, and Rizzo. Because Sandy gave birth to 3 kittens. Rizzo, Marty, and Sunny, but Marty and Sunny live with my stepbrother.
So
there's only 3.
only 3. Still, that's a lot.
The operations manager has 5. Come on, man.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. Fair enough.
And chickens, and I was like, oh god.
A
lot of
I remember having
animals.
chickens. Having chickens was kind of fun until they die and your dog gets at them. That was 2 different situations. Whoa. That was 2 different.
Okay.
No. What was it? One died. One my dog got at, and the other 2 that were the replacements we sold because Dad moved to Victoria. That was it.
Okay. Okay.
That was good having chickens. But yeah, we only had 2 at a time, so it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't a whole, coop or anything. It was just like a little thing, and you move the little hutch around every week or so. But she just gets so many fucking eggs.
Mm.
And thinking about cats today, I was like, Mum's working from home. I was doing class stuff, and Mum's like, "I'm going for a smoke." She's like, "The cat's outside." My cat doesn't go outside. My cat is pretty inside. And so he got outside, and you'd think he's quite an energetic, adventurous cat. He might either run away or chase around. No, he's just sitting at the back door waiting to come inside. I was like, oh,
it's truly
you're
an indoor cat.
Oh, yeah, but he sits at the window and clicks at birds. I was like, I would imagine that, you'd go check. Nah. He wants to come inside. He wants to sit on the couch and click at birds through the window.
Yeah, nah, man. Once there's a different environment, they're like, what? No. Like little
Stop.
Rizzo got out the other day and got as far as the patch of grass and was like, and they just froze. It was like,
oh, poor baby.
Bless.
She my mum bought them harnesses so that she can walk them.
What?
I tried to put the dog
God.
harness because the dog harness is because my cat is bigger than my dog's, so the dog harness will fit the cat. I tried to. No, the cat just kind of just sits.
Yeah, no, they don't really like walking, but
No,
yeah.
but cats are very independent creatures.
Yeah, little Rizzo, she's so funny. She really gotten into bugs. She really likes catching bugs with a little harness on and go stomping around.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Nick, anything, I guess, really exciting that happened in the last 6 months?
Oh, I mean, getting placement real quickly was exciting, and actually liking placement, that was exciting.
Yeah, I remember that in group chat. That was really cool.
Yeah, when I was stressing about, not having placement by the time class started, and like there's still people at the moment who haven't got placement. And like we've been doing it for 10 weeks next week. Next week it's 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And people still haven't got placement. And I get, the last 2 weeks we haven't had anything, so they still had like 7 weeks, but like when I email 20-something schools and hear back from 5,
Yeah.
like that's pretty good, including my old high school. But I was lucky to get a school in the local area, and I was just like, yep, I'll take that one. So, maybe, depending on what happens, I had some admin problems with the school down the road. When placement picks back up and nothing happens, maybe I'll go to my old high school and say, hey, you showed interest. Is that interest still there? But it was fun working. It was good this time because when I did my placement last year, I was just shadowing for like every day I was there. I was just shadowing someone, which you don't really learn much. You're still hands-on and doing stuff, but it's not like you don't have responsibility. And if you don't have responsibility, are you really doing anything?
There's no real motivation, I guess, for you to do something. Yeah,
exactly. But with this, like day one, I was in the classroom by myself, quotation marks, with a teacher, but it's the only adults in there for most of the time are me and the classroom teacher. So, like, yeah, it was good, and having, like, being in one classroom, you can see, like, the improvement students make over a short period of time and stuff, so you actually are getting, I suppose, like, it's not a reward, but you're getting satisfaction because you're actually making a difference.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But I mean, any other things that have been good? I've started a really large Star Trek toy collection.
Oh my god.
It's when I look at my bank bank account, and it's like maybe $2,000 to $3,000 in the last since December.
Bless. How do you even have that much money to spend on toys?
I was saving to go to Japan. And then didn't go to
that's
Japan.
right. And then that didn't happen.
So, well, luckily, because I was supposed to leave in 2 weeks if I was going to be going to Japan. Yeah, I was going to be going for the Easter break.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Lucky because you don't get flight money back.
Yeah.
You don't... Accommodation I would have been able to get back. But also, like, Disney tickets, you probably don't get the money back for that. And train tickets. So...
Yeah.
Also, we know how Japan handled the situation probably for the
Yeah.
best. But
Yeah.
no, I was about to get a big display cabinet to put them all in, because at the moment all the toys are just sitting in boxes mainly because I just don't have the space.
Yeah.
But seeing it's essential businesses only, I don't think going to Fantastic Furniture to buy a display cabinet is essential business.
Yes, that's true.
So
Very true.
Just go
Yeah.
online, man.
Oh yeah. Do an Amazon.
yeah, I could, but it's like an extra $80.
Oh, nah.
Why? Is it like not
Is it
flat
delivery?
pack?
Yeah,
$80 for delivery.
yeah, it was like $80 for delivery.
Good lord.
That doesn't sound like flat pack.
Nah.
It is quite
nah.
big. It's like large, but also just fucking drop it at my door. I'm home every day. Most people are home every day. Just whatever.
Oh well.
Josh, what good things happened to you?
Anything? So I got, I guess, promoted, as it were, to basically
Head boy.
train the. Huh?
You got promoted to head boy.
I guess. So I'm now, I guess, at the start of this year, I was training a whole bunch of new mentors in the same program that I was doing. So that was fun. That was a very interesting, I guess, exercise in learning how to interact with people, especially other trainers who don't have the same philosophy or lens in which we basically see differently when it comes to training people. That's a very big thing to, I guess, unpack. But aside from that, I got invited to come and meet the 2020 bunch, 2020 starting cohort for my counselling degree. That was a very interesting, I guess, conversation, meeting them for the first time as well. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on. I won't talk about, but if you know, you know. But there'll be some future stuff that is coming very, very soon. I'm talking like probably in the same week in which this episode will drop. Or if not, it's going to be the week after this episode drops. There's going to be some fun stuff coming y'all's way. But what else happened? Also got to see my very first client in terms of an actual like therapeutic client. So that was very fun. Also very, I guess, like anxiety inducing as well, because you don't want to fuck up if it's someone from the public as well. But it's always a very interesting learning experience, I guess. Yeah, it's been a lot, I think, for everyone, like especially like from November till now. You feel like this could have gone for a whole, like this period of time. It feels like it's been going for like 18 months or something. It's been a wild time.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. But, like mad props to everyone who is on the front line, and like not just medical professionals like doctors or nurses, but also all our like retail workers and essential hospital workers as well, who've been out there and having to deal with
all your picker packers, everybody. Farmers.
And everyone up the supply chain, and like all my med lab techs out there from my previous life. Mad props to y'all for having to process all those bloody tests. But like, because we have people who work in Woolies as part of our counselling cohort who are actually studying. Yeah, it hasn't been a fun time listening to their stories about work. I'm like, fucking hell, people.
My new TAFE friend works at Woolies and always makes sure just to be like, how are you going? Do you need to yell?
Feel free.
But no, she was supposed to work early today, but her 2IC is no longer sick, so she didn't have to work early. So that was good. That was good. But Like, yeah. She's got lucky just in general. Like, she hasn't had any terrible... The worst thing she's had is just old people being like, why is this the case? She's just got to be like...
Have you seen outside?
Yeah, you tell me, Gladys.
Oh, God. But yeah, I think...
Because old people like you just kept hoarding toilet paper.
Oh, my God. But yeah. I guess what we can do is we might end this episode pretty early so that we have stuff to talk about for the next one.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think much is going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Really.
I know. So we're going to be banking episodes, I guess, and cutting them pretty short. But you know, like, I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be a running theme, I guess, for season 4. But as always, like, we'll probably do some fun stuff in between. So maybe you'll see a return of Cards Against Humanity to the regular show in some form, I guess. Yeah, I guess more importantly, I probably won't be on as many episodes this year. Just a big hint on the main show. So yeah, maybe Nick will become the new super regular.
Well, and I wasn't last year.
I mean, we basically tied. So
yeah,
but I mean, like
you were definitely, you did almost every episode. I think there was only a handful that you weren't on.
Was there last season? Was there only one episode I wasn't on?
Yeah, I think that would have only been
like the regular
less than
show.
half a dozen. Less than half a dozen.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick's probably going to be the one who's going to be on the most. Or maybe everyone will be, and I'll be the lone one out.
Odd one out.
Yeah, I'll be the special one. But we are still going to do recommends. We're going to carry that on from last season. If you don't know what that is, we lifted this idea, I guess, and we took inspiration from The Good Place, the podcast. And if you haven't gone and listened to The Good Place, the podcast, you should definitely go. And this is a general recommendation also, because we'll probably talk about this on Spoilers for Days. Go watch The Good Place, which is now available everywhere. You can stream. So, yeah, we're going to do that alongside socials again this season. So, Anastasia, you got to recommend.
I am going to recommend
What is this accent? Hang on. What? Are you poaching? You're poaching my shitty French Canadian accent, I see.
Sorry. That's after binging the new season of Kim's, which you should also watch. But now my recommendation is going to be Gravity Falls, the Disney Channel children's series, which
is that Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. It wasn't. It was before Disney Plus. But yeah, the last season is debatably children's worthy. It's very. It gets
what?
It gets very dark.
As
it's
in,
very,
you mean content-wise?
I don't know, apocalyptic. Some Illuminati sort of weird references. End of the world, alternate universe, weird shit that happens. Which is a fun time.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Anastasia Mon on Instagram and Twitter.
Sweet. Thank you. Ben, recommend.
Yes. My recommend, as I said at the start of the show, is Outward. It's not a particularly, flashy game, and I will say that the character, faces are horrible. And there's not much, in terms of, customizing your characters, the way they look, physically, appearance, there's not much to it. But in what the game lacks in, I guess, budget, it makes up for in an amazing color palette, very unique enemy design, very unique weapon and armor design, and, this just sense of, brutality, but also, adventure. There's no fast traveling in this game. There's no horses or anything. Each area is it's almost like old school Zelda, where like each area is like its own little thing, and you can explore the area, and then when you can like move between areas and stuff like that. But like it's this like really just I don't know how else to explain it, but like you feel like a small pawn in a big world, in a big dangerous world, where you can literally die to a hyena. I'm just gonna say this right now. I actually started a new game whilst you guys were talking, because I died 3 times in a row and I lost all my shit, and I was like, "Fuck this!"
Rip.
So I started again, but like it's brutal on purpose. I could have chosen to go back, but in this game, money is really hard to come by. So you gotta really like be cautious about fights, and I was really reckless, so I lost all my shit. That's what happens. So yeah, no, I recommend Outward 100%. It's an amazing game. And again, like it's not AAA. I think it's like I can't remember how big the studio is, but it's a fairly small studio. It's like I would say an indie game. Published by Deep Silver, 9 Dots, amazing developers. I really hope that this game either gets sequels or like like more DLC. I know there's one DLC coming out at some point this year. But yeah, no, this game is great. So give it a play.
Sweet. And where can people find you?
You can find me at Bins in the Air, on Twitter. I always say I have like things that like planned and like they don't pan out. Hopefully this time the only thing that I really have to wait on now is just finance, because I don't have a job right now. So, but once I have finance, I should be okay to actually start recording and editing and actually doing shit and like posting stuff, like actual content for once.
Finally.
And yeah, I have a few scripts that I want to actually turn into films too, so there's that as well. So keep a lookout on my Twitter. Hopefully I actually do shit this year.
After so long.
After so long,
yes.
My goodness.
Yes. Yeah. Sweet. Nick?
Bin just set me off a small rant, which I'm just going to get out right now. You can call this a warn, but okay. So I wanted a video game to play while we were locked in, and I wanted to get Just Cause 4. So I looked around the shops and I couldn't find it, and I found it online for only like $5 dearer than it was on special elsewhere, and it came with all the DLC. So I bought it. Now, this is a game where you can blow up like entire cities that are full of like petrol tanks and all that, and the game is pretty smooth. Like you are dealing with a lot of like particle physics and that, so there's a little bit of jank which I can forgive. What I can't forgive is complete pre-rendered cutscenes being janky, skipping, and the faces being completely fucked. And this is a AAA game released by Square Enix. And that is
Just Cause is it's a strange beast.
Like, Just Cause 3 looked okay. Just Cause 4...
I would say the series peaked at 2. Like,
no.
Honestly.
Just... no. 3 is probably the best. 4 is also good, but they didn't know where to go, so they took it to... They went all Fast and Furious with it, where it's now just a superhero video game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, when your pre-rendered cutscenes are janky, yet your game looks crisp and smooth, and, like, what the fuck's the go with that? There's a problem there. And I thought it was a me problem. I googled it, and everyone was like, oh, the cutscenes, you mean the press B to skip scenes? Like, you cannot even watch them, because it's like watching a video with audio sync problems.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like, you've got that.
It's
fucking unforgivable. But my actual recommend, something that's good, is Avenue 5, which is a comedic sci-fi show along the lines of The Orville. So I got into it because of Star Trek. Like I mentioned, Star Trek toys. I like Star Trek. But instead of this being militaristic, this is a space liner that we're going on a... I won't reveal any of the plot, so I will shut up there. But it's a comedy of errors, and it stars Hugh Laurie, who is an Englishman playing an American in the show. So Hugh Laurie is English, and his character is English, playing an American.
Oh, great!
So you have
just
both.
Hugh Laurie.
So you just have both.
It's his brand.
House and Blackadder all kind of smushed together into one. Also, the character is a polygamous bi.
Okay,
That's just a point they completely brush over. And I'm like, I like this. Yeah, there's just like he's video calling his husband and wife back on Earth. And it's just like he's video calling his husband and wife back on Earth. That's it. That's
normal.
I'm like, cool.
Great.
This is cool. And there are jokes throughout it where they're just like it's clearly, like it's set in the future-ish, but it's like they, instead of guessing where we'll be in the future, they just choose like the stupidest places will be in the future. So it's really fun and funny, and there's like a little bit of stress. I've been describing it to people as the Love Boat meets the Orville, where there's like some romance, but it's also a like cruise ship. So it's all fun. It's on HBO, so watch it where you find your HBO things.
If you have access to HBO things.
Find them where you find your Game of Thrones.
Yes.
My socials is Twitter and Instagram at Nick Landcroon. They do their things. Twitter is for writing, Instagram's for photos. I don't need to tell you that.
Sweet. My recommend is going to be a musical OST. So the musical's called Hadestown, and it was recommended to me by a friend of the podcast, Mark from You Know What I Like, because he featured it on one of their podcast episodes. So I'm going to recommend it to you.
Who made this one of my recommendations.
Was it?
Months
I don't remember.
Well, there you go.
Anastasia now is angry and will kill you.
Yeah, come find me, bitch. You're going to have to self-isolate for 14 days.
I made it one of my reps on the podcast last year.
What?
I'm underappreciated.
I can't remember. It's been so long ago. But yeah, I guess I have multiple people to thank. No, I'm going to reiterate it because it's that good. So yeah, Hadestown original Broadway cast OST, I think, is on Spotify. So yes, and if you want to come find me, I am on Twitter and Instagram as abagpinoy. And if you want to come follow the podcast socials, we are on Twitter and Instagram as Great Mates Podcast. TR8M8S Podcast, all one word. Come sub to us wherever you're listening to us, basically, and share us to your friends. There's also going to be new content that's going to drop on Spoilers for Days and Let's Get Deeper in the next few weeks and months. Plus there's also going to be something, I guess, very special announcement that's going to happen, like I preempted earlier in this episode, sometime in the same week that this episode is going to drop. Alternatively, it's going to be the week after. There's going to be a few special things that are going to be happening, I guess, throughout the course of this year. For you listeners, if you want to suggest content to us and things you want us to discuss, if you also want us to potentially do a ranking of our picks for the existing crop of Eurovision 2020.
For the Eurovision that never was?
Yes, for the Eurovision that will never be. If you want us to do a ranking of who we think deserves the 12 points, let us know, and maybe we'll do a special episode, just a whole episode on the original. Yeah, we can do that. Like I said, if you want to go sub to Sports for Days and Let's Get Deeper, you can also sub to those on whichever platform you're listening to us on. So yeah, that's going to be it for us this week. We are going to see you guys on another episode. Bye.
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 Bye.